I hear something like that, then the question that arises for me is,
The meaning of the word is. Yes.
What do you mean happening?
Well, Jeep, the simplest explanation would be that happening is defined as an event or occurrence. It could also mean fashionable or trendy. It sort of depends on the context of the sentence, but we know what happening means.
So let me just unpack that a little bit.
Oh, great. You're going to unpack what happening means and probably tell us about some bullshit lecture you gave.
I did a lecture last night at the Apollo on the story of Cain and Abel.
Yes.
And one of the things that I proposed was that not only did that story happen, but it's always happening.
Yes.
It always happened. It's happening right now, and it's always going to happen into the future. And so
now, what Jordan has done here is substitute the interviewer's question about whether these biblical events happened, meaning are they true, with the idea that they continue to happen, they will always happen, and they are metaphorically true, which isn't what the interviewer asked him, but it's definitely what Jordan Peterson is going to tell us. And that's because conservative Christians make up a big part of Jordan Peterson's audience, and he is incredibly intellectually dishonest. But he talks fast and he changes the argument midstream, and so most people just don't notice. He sounds smart.
And so then when I look at a story like Cain and Abel, I think, well, the question, did that happen, begs the question.
Actually, begging the question means to assume the truth of an argument or point without actually having argued said point. But I'll give you a pass on this one because begging the question is often used incorrectly. I thought you're a professor.
What do you mean by happen?
An event or occurrence.
Because when you are dealing with fundamental realities and you pose a question, you have to understand that the reality of the concepts of your question, when you're digging that deep, are just as questionable as what you're questioning.
Nothing you just said made any sense or is in any way relevant to the question you're attempting to answer. You essentially just did the smart professor version of, because, it's word salad, Jordan. It's word salad and you should feel bad about it.
You know, so people say to me, do you believe in God?
A question you have repeatedly danced around and failed to answer because, again, conservative Christians are vital to your grift. And flat out saying that you don't believe in God is going to turn them away. And that's going to affect your Patreon.
And I think, okay, there's a couple of mysteries in that question. What do you mean do?
The meaning of the word is. Yes.
What do you mean you?
The meaning of the word is. Yes.
What do you mean believe?
The meaning of the word is. Yes.
And what do you mean God?
The meaning of the word is. Yes.
And you say as the questioner, well, we already know what all those things mean.
Yeah.
If you can honestly sit there and say that we don't know what you do, believe, or God means, and that there are deeper mysteries in these questions, then how in the fuck do you feel like you are qualified to say anything about pronouns?
And I think, no, if we're going to get down to the fundamental brass tacks, we don't really know what any of those things mean.
Fair enough then, Jeep. We don't know what any of these things mean. And without complete understanding of one another, we can't ever honestly and truthfully answer these questions. So do us all a favor and shut the fuck up. We all know that when it comes to the issue of pronouns, you very firmly believe that words have meaning. So why is it exactly that words have meaning when it benefits your Patreon, and words have no meaning when it also benefits your Patreon? You're a grifter, Jeep. You're in this for the money, and everyone knows it. I suppose that is everyone who's not ideologically aligned with you as cover for their bigotry.
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is. Yes.